You ready for how much this boy stole? At least it wasn't nobody like $20,000. All this work I've been doing, all this busting my behind that I've been doing. What about that? John, whatever the fuck his name, Albert. Fucking assholes. You know what these assholes do? I'm not really even a drinker. When I tell you I hit them bottles, I hit them bottles, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you, that messed me up. Ugh. Y'all ready for this? Hi, y'all. I am back, and I know you missed me, and so I'm here with another little clip. So I have been asked to make just maybe a few more videos about like stories and what's it like being out here and what's it like really doing business in Kenya. As you guys know, I am an American by passport and nationality, and I have moved to Kenya, and I moved to Kenya permanently in 2017. My mom is Indian, but she grew up and was born in Kenya. My grandmother was also born in Kenya. So, you know, anytime you get these guys who are like, Rita, you are not a Kenyan. Dada yangu. What does that mean? I'm your sister, dog. I'm your sister. Anyway, so I moved out here, and, you know, I was like a lawyer in the States for like a long time. Google me. I'm out there. But anyways, you know, you get tired of some stuff and you want to see new things in your life. And so you move, right? You go far. Big risk, big rewards, and I really just didn't want to have an ordinary life and just do some regular mess, and so that's why I'm out here. So anyways, I wanted to give you guys just a little story about how we kind of started into the biz and where we're at now, and maybe you can get from the story some of the things you got to kind of deal with, especially if you're going to be moving to Africa and really doing a local business. I think maybe the story that I'm about to tell you guys, it would probably be applicable to other types of businesses where you're here and you're dealing with foreigners, but I'm just gonna let you know what happened to us. And, you know. Anyway, so originally when I first moved out here, I was really interested in doing alcohol and doing private label, white label alcohol. Right? So generally when I was like going out, not to like high-end bars where they have, you know, really like proper, like good liquor, high-end liquor, but like going to like medium bars, going to bars where you have more of like your middle class, I started noticing people were just drinking like garbage, okay? Like garbage. Basically it's like water with like sugar with a little bit of like wine flavor added to it, right? Like this is that stuff where, you know, if you're a seasoned lady like myself, you're going to have like a 2-day hangover, okay? So I was like, well, why don't we start bringing something that Kenyans really like? And we actually, instead of just dumping a product into the market because it works somewhere else and fine, Kenyans just deal with it. In my mind, I wanted to do it a little differently, right? I wanted to take a look at what people were drinking. I wanted to see what the flavor profile and what they like. And then I wanted to bring them a wine that fit what they like, right? Like, so for instance, you know, like I said, I'm a half Indian. And, you know, as Indians, I mean, you must have masala. It must have garlic and ginger. It must have some flavor, spicy and salty and sweet and all of that. And then when you're kind of looking at, for instance, what Kenyans like, they really like sweet stuff, bitter stuff, right? So anyways, you start realizing there's different flavor profiles, and based on your culture, based on where you're from, you're gonna kind of feed into that. You like how I did that? Feed into that? Didn't? Okay, so anyways, we started doing wine. So I sourced a supplier in Europe, in Portugal in particular, because in my mind, I had identified Portuguese wine as being something that Kenyans would really like. I think in like a span of 1 year, I went back and forth to Portugal, to Douro Valley, to Porto, Lisboa for like 5 times in 1 year. I mean, I was renting cars, I was driving through the countryside, and by the way, it's beautiful. Just trying to find producers, trying to find people who understood kind of what we were looking at and also being at the price point that could work for us. And ended up finding a supplier, found one guy. I went out to lunch with him. Y'all ready for this? So my first Portuguese supplier. We went out to like lunch. They were Portuguese Canadians. So like the guy was a pharmacist, I think, in Canada, and the woman ran like a floral company, and then they bought a vineyard in Douro and they moved out there to begin their process. So we had a whole thing. We had come up with the whole plans. came up with what I wanted, price points, quantity, everything. I come back to Nairobi. Some months passed because I was just waiting for my liquor licenses to come through and pay for them and do all of that. I emailed them and was like, okay, hi, we're ready. How about the lady writes me back, I've never met you, I don't know who you are, we've never seen each other. How? Like y'all get black women who are over here whipping around in their little cars in Doro meeting people, like you guys go out to lunch and buy lunch for black women all day long. You know who I am. Just say that you're not interested in working with me and we could keep it moving from there. It was super rude. I wasn't into it, but we gotta have thick skin, right? If we're gonna be out here, we're gonna be throwing ourselves out here, we gotta have thick skin. So one of their guys, I had a number for one of their other guys who worked in there. And I was just like, listen, you're going to have to help me out. Like, you're not going to make this whole deal with me and then just run me some note and saying, oh, I don't know what happened, right? So the guy was cool. He helped us out, found me another guy, ended up calling them, ended up going out to see their stuff, seeing their whole production line. And one thing that I have definitely noticed being out here is that anything that I do the second time, it just ends up being better. Right? It's almost like that first time is practice. You make some mistakes, you learn some shit, and then boom, you do your second one and stuff is just better, right? Like, i.e. my finance and accounting, I had a cousin who was doing it. The first one, she turned out to be trash. Boom, got rid of her, found a second one. Amazing, love her. Same with my sales and marketing. I was dealing with this one guy, turned out to be a real con artist. And if I see him, he gonna get with his whole foot up his ass. I did see him one time and I ran up on him, but I was at work, so I was trying to maintain. But I did run up on him and he kind of backed off. Anyways, my second, amazing, love her, really been moving forward. So same with the supply situation. I was like, whatever, girl, like second go around is going to be better. So anyways, went out there, checked out their operation, and just a much better supplier. Had more product, had more options, had better price points, really had options to be able to create other products, very open to doing private label from the very beginning. And the one thing I'm gonna tell any of y'all out here, any product you do out here, you do it private label, white label. What does that mean? They make it for you and it's got your brand, your name on it. Done and done and done. Don't bring nothing out here under somebody else's name, because out here, these people are crooks. You can't enforce shit and it's obnoxious. Anyways, private label. So worked out our deal, did all of that. Now this was 2019. Right? I came back I was in the States for a little while I was waiting for my liquor licenses to come through and all of that. So now I've got my new supplier, right? So follow me in this chronology, right? I had that first Portuguese supplier in the background in Kenya. I'm working on getting my importation and my liquor licenses, right? Get my liquor licenses issued. My first supplier was like, I don't know you. Back to the drawing board. Now I found a second supplier and I've now got my liquor licenses, right? Now this is the end of 2019. I go talk to my accountant. This is the first accountant. And she was like, so listen, I got bad news for you. I was like, what? Because sometimes it just feels like every 2 steps you go forward, bro, somebody just pushes you back and it's obnoxious, bro. Like, this is where I'm saying you've got to have tenacity. You've got to have perseverance. You've got to be up on people and you got to be able to find somewhere on the inside of yourself to have the need to keep pushing, right? So originally when I first came here, because I did not have my Kenyan citizenship yet, I had to have a Kenyan citizen on my paperwork so I could open up my business. So I come back now, this is November 2019. She tells me your partner has been caught stealing an obscene amount of money. And when I tell y'all obscene, y'all, you ready for how much this boy stole? 750,000 USD. Y'all heard me right. Now on one hand, I'm glad look, if you gonna do it and you know you're about to get into trouble for doing some messy stuff, then just go big, right? At least it wasn't nobody like $20,000. At least it was like $750,000. But on the other hand, right, we out here in Africa, right, where this is some real wild, wild west stuff. And what I don't need in my life is somebody that you owe money to rolling up on me and saying, because you're partners with this man, you probably have something to do with it, so you got to run me some money. Now, I ain't got no money to run nobody, so it's not going to work, right? So I was like, dang, are you serious? So she's like, look, we got to change your papers, change all this mess because you're not going to be able to have this on your stuff. Fine. So now, guys, imagine November 2019, I'm changing all of my business paperwork. I'm changing the structure of my business. I had to change the name of my business because I couldn't have the old name in the old partnership name. So now, mind you, right, I just told you guys, the liquor license board, they have just issued me my liquor licenses in the old business name. So now here I am with a new business name, and my new business name, I was finally able to get everything finalized by February 2020, okay? So also to give you guys an idea how long it takes just to set up a business. It's not like you can just get online, plug in your stuff, boom, like 3 hours later, you got your EIN number, you've got all your work. No. This stuff takes months, y'all. And it shouldn't. It really, really shouldn't. It's obnoxious, but here we are. So now it's February 2020. I go back to the liquor guys. I'm like, look, just change the name on the liquor license. Y'all ready for this? They're like, nah, you're gonna have to run us some money to do that. And I was like, but I just paid you guys for these. I just paid you guys. And they were like, if you want us to do it, you're gonna have to run us. You ready for this, y'all? $15,000 to change the name. And that $15,000, if you don't know what that AKA means, it's the B, the R, the I, the B, the E. It's bribery. Okay? $15,000, y'all. I ain't got nobody's $15,000. If I had $15,000, I wouldn't even have to come and do this. I would just send somebody else to go do it because I'm already rolling in it, all right? So I was like, y'all are bullshit. And they were like, well, if you don't want to give it to us, we're not going to give you the licenses. And I was like, this is just dumb, right? Because now I found a second supplier who's really much better. We've come up with our agreements, but now I can't even import into the country because these dum-dums want another $15,000 for some mess that I just paid for, okay? Fine. Now I was like, now what? So one of my uncles out here, he's got a really big business, and he had been telling us that he was going to be going to Dubai to showcase their business and like all of this other stuff. So as y'all already know, I'm a lawyer in my former life. I moved out here to go into this. So this is like brand new for me. But the one thing I do know is I know how to read physical cues, and I know how to see and understand how people are talking, right? I'm always listening to how people are saying something, not so much what they're saying, but how are you saying it to me, right? So I just remember his eyes kind of lit up, and he's like, we're going to the Dubai Golf Show, and this is what we're gonna go do. And I was like, oh. I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what he's talking about, but I do know when someone's eyes light up and they want us to go and check it out, right? So I was like, let me just come with y'all. I'll help you guys out with whatever you need, but let me just come and see what this is, right? Anyways, y'all, I went down over there to the Gulf Food and Beverage Show, and they do it every year in February. It's like a 5-day conference. Mind blown. You hear me? Mind blown. Expanse, opening. Now we learning some real mess. I had no idea. So basically, just to give you a quick rundown of what this place is, they do this every year, and it is considered the world's largest food and beverage show. And they literally have, I think when I had gone that one year, I think they said they had like 7 convention centers, and each convention center only housed one portion of products that are in food and beverage. So i.e., they had one whole section that was only for pulses, right? And grains, rice, beans, that's what that is, right? They had one whole conference area just for oil, sunflower oil, vegetable oil, olive oil, right? They had 2 just for beverages, all right? And when I tell you, just to give you all an idea, every day, right? So I did the 2 beverages, obviously. I went through 1 convention per day, and each day I'm clearing 15,000 steps. You heard me? In 1 convention center, 15,000 steps, because that's how big it was. That's how many suppliers and producers they had. Like, I was meeting suppliers and producers from the Caucasus Mountains. Google that, Caucasus Mountains, okay? I was meeting producers from Papua New Guinea who were making beautiful teas. People from Latvia, Lithuania, just places where you're like, huh? How do I get out there? It's gonna be like 2 planes and a train and a car? Nuts, right? Anyways, it was very mind-opening, very expansive, really learned some stuff. Had I have known about more of these, it probably would have been easier to find a wine producer instead of just going to the country, driving around trying to find somebody. But anyways, it was great. So while I was out there, you know, you just gotta really talk to people, make some connections. It's like a real big networking place. Have your cards ready. The first day I messed up, I went over there in heels, all dressed up, and I'm looking around at everybody, and everybody's got on sneakers. They got rolling bags with them. I was like, why would you need that? So when I got there, I totally understood it, right? Because all of these guys are out here and they've just got product. Like, do you want their products? What do you want? Do you want a sample? Do you want to try it? So the next day, smartened up, tightened up. Like I said, I'm always watching around. Like, if you doing that and I'm looking like this and there's more of y'all, maybe there's something to it. So the next day, I rolled up in my sneakers, rolled up with my rolling bag. I'm ready. I'm into it. Just went around speaking to everybody, just picking up samples of stuff I think could work in Kenya. Because mind you, I've been out here long enough to kind of really see what people are looking at. What do they like? So let me now go find a producer who's making what I know my Kenyan community wants. And just really talk to like really interesting people, right? So there was this one company, MWD, that we were talking to. They had like really tasty products, right? Like I really love seltzer waters. I love if it's sparkling with some fruit flavor to it, sign me up. Brand new or not, sign me up. I'm gonna take it. So they had these amazing Japanese sparkling waters with just like fantastic flavor. So anyway, so now we're done with the show now, right? It's end of February 2020. And then boom, what happens? This damn COVID. A moment of silence for all those who have fallen for COVID. Ugh. Anyways, so now imagine I come back to Kenya. I have no liquor licenses. I have a new business structure that has no import certificates, business, nothing attached to it. And now we're shut down. Right? Great. Yay. Yay. And you know, one of the fastest sales that went up during the COVID? Alcohol, wine, booze. And here I am sitting on a whole thing with no liquor license. I can't even bring my stuff in. It was trash, y'all. Trash. Then come around April. Right? So now it's like April 2020 and this MWD, they call me and they were like, yo, listen, we've got a really great drink and selling really well in Korea, in the Middle East, Europe. We're getting really good feedback and maybe you should try it for your market. It was basically sodas with nutrition in it. So I was like, look, I mean, there's COVID, might as well just do something different. Let's do something to help our community. Let's do something to help to boost their immunity and really help them fight this stuff, right? Like you saw this stuff with the hospitals and stuff and who is trying to go to the hospital? Who is trying to get sick? Nobody. So I was like, straight, let's do it. Now, remember what I told you? I didn't work with nobody who wasn't open to doing white label or private label. So even when we met in Gulf Food, I had told them very specifically, I'm looking for private label. I don't want your brand in the country. I don't want to do all that. So now April comes, they hit me up. They're like, what do you want to do? I was like, all right, fine. Like send it out here. But with the understanding, eventually I'm going to be putting this into our own brand name. They were down, right? They're down. So we import a small amount, like 5 pallets of their product with the understanding that we want private label. And now MWD tells us we only work with 1 distributor per region. I said, so what does that mean? And they were like, if we're working with you as a distributor, you're the only one we're gonna work with. We don't like distributors competing in the same region. And so that's what we want you to do. I was like, okay, cool. So now we hit the ground running. We get our products in by like June-ish, right? Because there's a whole process with importing products. What paperwork do you need with it? How do you make it happen? I'll do a whole nother video about that. So for those of y'all who are interested in specifically how do you import products from other countries to bring them into Kenya, I'll give you a little rundown on that on another video. So we get our products in by June and we are hitting the market, y'all, right? We're out there. Now, mind you, we're in a whole lockdown. They had shut Nairobi down. So we were locked into Nairobi. We were not even allowed to leave, but we're out here, right? Creating our social media pages, marketing protocol, going out to grocery stores, trying online, all of this stuff. And we're really working, right? We used to have like pretty frequent meetings with MWD online just so that they could see how we were moving, what we were doing, all of that. They knew that I was very clear. This whole having to do bribes all the time, I'm not really into it. I think it's trash. Like if we're going to be doing good work out here, then just let us do good work, right? We'll talk about bribes in another video because I'm telling y'all, like if you guys are going to be coming out here doing some work, you put a whole section in your books just for bribes because it's on every single level. Okay? And I'm not saying bribery don't happen all over the world, okay? It happens everywhere. We already know it. However, to deal with it here on every single level, it's obnoxious. Like, i.e., just to tell you, like when I got my business licenses, it's already like $600. The girl asked me for an additional $1,500. And I was like, for what? And she was like, oh, you know, just to help you get your stuff done. I was like, no, I could wait. That's fine. I could wait. Just getting into grocery stores, paying listing fees, it's obnoxious. Like right now, one of the managers for Quick Mart out here, this man stole our whole money, okay, still hasn't listed our products onto that thing. And he's another one about to run up on his ass as well because it's ridiculous. Then just give me my money back, right? Like, don't come over here, finesse me for my cash, and then just be like, oh, well, too bad I ain't put it up there. It's obnoxious. So we're working, we're doing all of that. Now we notice that because our products are nutritious, right? They're sodas with nutrition in them. You can also place them onto the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, which is like the equivalent of the FDA. So now we're working on getting it into there, because now if we can get it onto there, we can go to hospitals, clinics, doctors, pharmacies, right? And if it's COVID and it's immunity and we're talking about that, then we should definitely be somewhere in this healthcare area, right? So I'm letting MWD know this. We talk about it. They know about it. They write us an exclusivity letter, okay? Give us licensure to be able to use their brand and their product, right? Give us a whole exclusivity letter that we put to the Pharmacy and Poisons Board saying like, these are the only ones who are selling our product, all of that. Again, right? Giving more reassurances that, okay, these guys are saying what they're saying and they mean what they said. So we're working 2020, moving into 2021. Now we're into pharmacies. Now we're inside of grocery stores. We're like in level C and B. Now we're really working into getting class A grocery stores, pharmacies, where we're getting that volume, and right, or now we're not dealing with just like the small grocery stores that are in their little area, but like grocery stores that are across the board, right? i.e. Quick Mart, Carrefour, Navis, all of these. So here we are, we talking right at the end of last year, December 2021. I had gone to like this music, rap, hip hop awards place. We got really good publicity, right? We had some of these really talented up and coming artists like trying our drinks, liking our drinks. So it really helped us, right? So it was very exciting because now it's COVID, but we're still making moves. Y'all ready for this? So around here, December, that's like the month is off, right? Like everybody takes a month off in December. This is like family fun time. This is where, you know, nobody's going to be asking you for nothing. Nobody's going to look for you for anything because it's December, right? Like it's the end of the year. We got to chill. Most people save most of their money for the whole year just so they can chill for all of December. And when I first got here, I was like, well, this is weird, right? Like a whole month. Like my lawyer, she closed her office for a month, y'all. And I was like, what? I ain't never heard of a lawyer closing their whole office for a month. That was like my first or second year here. Now that I've been here for a while, ooh, y'all, I can't wait for December. Ooh, I can't wait for December. You already hear that? December 15th, deuces. I'm out, okay? I'm not coming back till January 16th. I'm excited. I already got it planned, y'all. I'm about to cut up. I'm running in the streets. But until then, we work. Anyway, so January comes, right? We get back, right? So everybody's starting to get back into the swing of things at like mid-January, end of January. And here comes these people, MWD. Rita, you're not moving fast enough for us. We just want you to pay the bribes to get into the grocery stores and just get into them and start moving. And I was like, well, we've kind of come to certain agreements. So how are y'all just reneging on all this? Then, you ready for this, y'all? These assholes, and I'm saying it, asshole, Young Lee, Chris, what's that other guy's name? John, whatever the fuck his name, Albert, fucking assholes. You know what these assholes do? Mind you, they've given us exclusivity. Rita, we don't do other distributors in the market. It's just gonna be you. These assholes go to their local embassy in Singapore, contact the embassy of Singapore here in Kenya, find a Singaporean distributor who works locally in the market and gives them the same exact product at half the price. What? And then these niggas got the nerve to call me, talk about, so this is what we just did. And I was like, so all this work I've been doing, all this busting my behind that I've been doing, what about that? You guys told me in my face, we don't deal with other distributors. So you went behind my back and got one? And I was like, you gave me an exclusivity letter saying we're the only distributors who are doing this. And you still go behind my back and do this? Y'all, that messed me up. I'm not gonna lie to you, that messed me up. Like when I tell you kicking your legs out from under you, talk about taking the wind out your sails. I mean, y'all, from like January like 18th, ooh, I was low. I was like, yo, like you're out here doing all this work, you doing all of this, and they just do that to you, right? And I'm saying all this to say, around here, right, you can make contracts with people. There's really no enforceability of it, right? You can go to court, but you could bribe all these judges and stuff. They don't care. You can try to do it, but it's like, then you have to do a cost analysis, right? Like, do you spend all of this money into legal fees, legal hiring counsel, doing all that? Or do you take the L and get creative, get flexible, and move in another direction? So because our funding is not where we're at, where we want to be at, we had to take option 2. Let's get flexible. Let's get creative. Let's start thinking, right? Because the one thing I know about me is this. I'm resilient. I'm flexible. I'm creative. I'm adaptable. And ain't nobody just going to run up on me and say to me, too bad, girl, you're not going to be able to do it because I said so. That whole I said so don't work with me. Now, I was thinking to myself, what do I do? Remember that the Gulf Food Show was coming up every February. Kenya had shut down all the flights, or rather the UAE had shut down all flights for Kenyans coming to Dubai. So I was like, man, how do we find another supplier for product? Like, what do we do? It was hard, y'all. Like, I'm not really even a drinker. When I tell you I hit them bottles, I hit them bottles, y'all. I'm sitting here drinking. I was like, now what? We invested so much capital into this. We invested so much money into this. Buying a whole container over here of their stuff, and here you guys do me. You just go behind my back like that? You just go behind my back like it don't even mean no nothing? Oh, God, I was pissed. But my girlfriend, London, my CB, Corona bestie, was like, you always have to have multiple streams of income. You gotta have multiple streams of income. Nobody has ever made it rich without having multiple streams of income. Right? And that's true. When we look at all those guys, like Diddy, Jay-Z, Ricky, Rose, all of these guys, right? And I'm just using rappers as an example because we see it a lot more with them and it's more openly. But these guys all made their money off of all their other streams of products, not just their music. So I was like, let's work on multiple streams of stuff, right? Because we know how to import, we know how to source suppliers, we know how to create product, we know how to brand product, we know how to do that. So you know what? Fine. These guys wanted to play games and do some fuck shit like that. Fine, let them. Because also in all of our conversations, I'm telling them, like, look, you guys are trying to compare a Kenyan market to the UAE, to South Korea. That's not going to work. It's 2 different markets, 2 different buyers, 2 different consumers. It's never going to be the same. And you guys want to be in Africa, so let me give you the background of what it's like to be here. But they wasn't listening, so fuck them, right? So now I go to Dubai, go to the Gulf Show, find some products. Then while I was out there, I was like, Rita, do you remember when you've been talking to all of these pharmacists about your product? And now they're giving us feedback, right? They're giving us feedback. Why don't you bring this instead of doing that? Why don't you bring me something like this instead of that? We have customers who are asking us for this. So what I really learned through this process, because this is the one thing I'm gonna say, I'm now on the other side. I'm a lot better. If y'all would have seen me in February to now, it'd have been like, Rita, you need a hug. I needed a hug, but it's different now. I get it, right? So this is one of the things I learned. All things that you feel are going to be one thing, it's never not. You're going to get through it. 2, the market is going to tell you what they want. So when I first started doing this, when I was taking some of these business classes, like learning from other business people, they would always throw that out of me. The market's going to tell you. The market's going to tell you. The market's going to tell you. I didn't get that at first. Going through this process, going through this, I get it now. The market is going to tell you. I've also learned that you should be solving something, right? So again, and I'm sure if those of you guys who have been thinking about going into business, contemplating about it, reading these guys who do business books, reading what these guys do, guys who are big titans in their industry, they're always telling you, you got to solve a problem. Don't create the problem and try to solve it. Solve the problem. I didn't understand that at first, right? I didn't understand that. I was just like, what are you saying? What are you saying? What does that mean? Now I get it. So we switched it. Right when these guys started playing games with me and they were like, we're just gonna go and give it to somebody else, I said, all right, bet. I've got a whole warehouse full of their product and I'm definitely not gonna be running in the streets with their brand on it at all moving forward while I clear this container. So you know what I did, y'all? I just made my own stickers. Made my own exact logo how I wanted it to look, had it look exactly how I wanted it to look, and I just rebranded their stuff into my brand, what I had originally wanted to do, making it white label. What is that showing y'all? Flexibility, adaptability, resiliency. So now we're getting a lot of the pharmacists asking us, bring us something for sexual wellness, bring us something for reproductive wellness, because this is a society where everybody's super conservative, nobody talks about sex, but we got the world's youngest population. Does that make any sense? don't have sex, don't talk about sex, but it's got the highest population of young people out here. And some of these girls are having like 4 and 5 kids just cuz. Right? It's nuts. So I was like, all right, cool, right? So now the pharmacist is giving me a problem that needs solving. And like I said, now that I've learned, I never went to business school, but these last 2 years dealing with MWD, I went to business school, y'all. I learned it in the streets. I learned it out there. So all of that to say to you guys is sometimes you don't really have to go to school to learn some of this stuff. Sometimes you just got to jump right in, right? Sometimes you got to just get in both 2 feet and you're going to figure it out. You're going to sink or swim, and that's just how it's going to be. I realize I'm a person where I excel in that, and so that's what we did. And we switched it up. We came up with a whole new line of products, came up with a whole new range of products, also in the wellness sector, right? So we came up with one of our products, Refine Me. Refine Me, ladies. I know it's for ladies. It's a full 100% natural herbal product. We are white labeling it. Our producers are in the US. We know that a lot of the products that they're bringing out has more quality than what you get locally here in the market. So I was able to still maintain our quality and our value, diversify our product line, and solve a solution. Not bad, huh? Not bad. So we did Refine Me for women, and then we came up with 2 other products for men. One is called Miss Steady, which has 1 herbal makeup, and then our other one is called Black Steel, which has another totally different makeup. And even for this product, you know how I figured out how we should be able to do it? Because one day I was talking to one of these guys from MWD, because he used to hit me up all the time, y'all. All the time. Like, they are still like 8 hours ahead of me. Sometimes I'd be in the US, homeboy would call me, and it's like, aren't you asleep? It's like 2:30 in the morning. Where's your wife at? But anyways, he would talk, and he would do a lot of talking. And like I said, I like to listen to how people say stuff. He's the one who gave me the idea of looking for this different herbal blend because nobody else has out here. And so I want to thank MWD for screwing us, but at the same time, they're the ones who really gave us this idea to be able to move into another product line. Imagine, y'all, we finished up making our new product, right? So I found these suppliers in like April, finished up and finalized our products by May. We got them in by middle of May. We're in the middle of June. I literally just got these like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I have had more people ask me for our new product than they've ever asked me for our soda with nutrition. The market is going to tell you. So anyways, this is a really long video, but I just kind of wanted to let y'all know kind of where we started at to where we're at right now. And so right now we've got 2 product lines going, our soda with nutrition, our gold label, our active shot label, and our kids drink. And then we also have now an intimate sexual reproductive wellness product, our Refine Me, Miss Steady, and Black Steel. So y'all can do it. You can do it. I'm just saying there's gonna be days when you're gonna be really mad. There's gonna be days like I even thought about, I was like, I should just go back to New York and be a lawyer. No thanks. There's a reason why I left. I ain't trying to go back over there because this thing messed up. And any business guy is gonna tell you, right? It's like people only see the end result, but they never see that journey through. They never see those dark days. They don't ever talk about like, it was hard, right? And it was hard, y'all. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, that first and second, the beginning of second quarter, it was not easy. It was not easy. You know, but we're here and we're moving and we're pushing. We've gotten more sales in this last 2 weeks than I've had with these drinks, and I can't even tell you how long. What's that tell you? The market will tell you, and you've got to solve a problem. So please let me know. You got any likes, comments, concerns? Hit me up in the comments. Like and subscribe to our TIA marketplace. Help me help all of y'all by getting out kind of this word, because most people don't talk about any of this, right? Nobody really like engages anybody in this to really discuss it, but it's necessary and they need us here, right? We do stuff for them and they need us here. So come out here, like and follow, hit us up, look up all our pages, follow us. Our men's products are in our TIA Gentleman's Den, and our ladies products are within our TIA Ladies Lounge. And then, you know, you can add us at TIA Gold Drink and Active Shot Drinks. So talk to you guys later. I'll be back with more stories. Okay, bye.